So let's talk about functional groups here. So typically in introductory chapters of organic chemistry, there's a nice little section that deals with the different major functional groups that we'll see as we progress throughout the year of organic chemistry. So I won't spend a lot of time going over each one of these, but you can take a look through this a little bit on your own. First, we have alkanes. Alkanes have only carbons and hydrogens on them, right? If we come down and we take off some hydrogens, then we have a carbon-carbon double bond. So an alkene has a carbon-carbon double bond on it. An alkyne has a triple bond present in it. And an arene, sometimes referred to as aromatic rings, is an alternating double single bonded structure with that's cyclic. So kind of the common one that we see through first semester is this, which is benzene. Second semester, we spend 2 whole chapters talking about benzene, though. Now, if we have a single hydrogen substitution here, we could have alcohols. So we'll cover alcohols this semester. Alcohols is when we have a hydroxy group or an OH group attached to us. And we can have an ether, which is a carbon-oxygen-carbon sandwich. You may have heard of diethyl ether before. And then we have amines, which is just a nitrogen attached to some different groups. They could be hydrogens or they could be carbon groups. So in organic chemistry, we use this notation R to indicate that there's just some carbon that's there. So for an amine, for example, it could be 2 hydrogens. It could be a hydrogen and like a carbon, or it could be 2 carbons down here below. And then we'll look at alkyl halides. So that could be one of our halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine. And we look at a lot of these in first semester. Amines are covered in second semester. Carbonyl compounds, we'll see these a little bit and a lot more in second semester. But we have aldehydes, which is carbon, double bonded oxygen. Sometimes we call this group here a carbonyl group. So it's listed here, but we call it a C, double bond O. That is a carbonyl group. These all are going to have carbonyl groups. But notice for an aldehyde that the terminal atom is an H. So it's a carbonyl at the end of a molecule, where a ketone is like a carbonyl sandwich. So you got a carbon on the left and a carbon on the right. Carboxylic acid, well, we've talked about these before. These have the general formula COOH, and an ester takes off the H and puts on an R group there. So that R group could be a CH3, it could be anything. And then we have an amide. An amide is a carbonyl next to a nitrogen. Now there's other functional groups that are out there. There's lots of other ones, but this is enough to get us started and enough to really get us through the whole year. As we get into chapters that have subsets of some of these functional groups, we'll talk about them later as we go through first and second semester.